Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Multiverse Fundraiser with me, Andrea Starnes. This is the fourth time you've seen me in 2 days. Hopefully, you're not tired of me yet. And today, for this panel, is, as my guest said, it's kind of funny to talk about it when we're talking about comic books for kids, but we were talking about nerdy tattoo artists and tattoos. So right now, I have one of my guests with me. This person is one of my best friends. You know, y'all see that track with me. I bring my friends into a lot of these things. And they are the one that stabbed me with needles over and over the first time. So this is my friend KF. Call me Midas.
Yay.
Look,
nice to be on. I'm surprised I haven't been on before now, actually.
Considering that, you know, you're one of the besties, you would think.
Yeah.
But hopefully
it's
our other
strange
guests...
it's strange that we haven't talked professionally in any capacity, like in public before, given how often we do that exact thing in person.
And how long we've known each other. Let's not talk about that, or we're going to tell people how old we are. Which really not embarrassed by that.
No one needs to know that.
But, you know, I know they say a lady doesn't tell their age, but do non-binaries tell their age?
No.
Okay. So then we will not get into that. Like I said, we have another guest. Hopefully he will be popping in. If not, y'all are going to be stuck listening to me and one of my best friends talk for an hour. And
it's happened to better people before. It's fine.
You know what? If they don't like it, they can turn it off. But if they do, hopefully they want to donate to Comic Books for Kids. We have the ticker. We didn't forget it this time. I didn't have to start it after the show started. I am running on very little sleep. So, since we are waiting on our other guests, we'll just start interviewing you, okay? So, yeah. Oh, no. So, basic question. How'd you get started as a tattoo artist?
Oh no, you know this one.
I do, but
I feel like the better way to introduce myself here is to start with credentials, because I've only been a tattoo artist for a year, 4 days from now. So,
but that's okay.
We're coming up on the 1 year anniversary of me tattooing people. Before that, I have a career as a professional illustrator. I've been doing that since 2013. Went to school for it. My focus was in illustration, but I've always sort of been the type to kind of dabble in different art forms. Like I did paper making for a while. I did print making for a while. I bounced around in my mediums, and this is one that I've always wanted to get into, but never really had the opportunity to. Like anyone who's really into tattoos can tell you that it's a difficult field to kind of jump into. For a variety of reasons, many of them valid.
Yeah.
So it took me a little while to get certified, to go through my apprenticeship, to get all of the stuff that I needed, materials wise, even, because it is a messy job. But what got me into tattooing was, I guess, my love for art, but also my love for anatomy and just talking to people, I guess, is the best answer I've got for you there. I think you and I both know that a lot of working in geek spaces like this is talking to people, getting to know them. Kind of building that part of that sense of community. It's so important, I think, to both of us.
I think that's funny because we actually talked about that in the indie comic creator panel as well, about talking to people and making that community. And it looks like we actually have one of our other guests. We have Luna. She's
Naomi.
Naomi.
Naomi. We just started. We were just talking. I was saying, I feel like community has been such a big deal for us, in particular as artists. And the thing that got me into tattooing, at least, was as much as I love doing illustration on paper for people, and I love doing commissions and work conventions like that, the more people I got to know, the more people expressed to me how they would like for me to do tattoos, or they would like for me to design tattoos for them. So that's sort of the branching point for me.
Yeah, I know a lot of artists that started out like you as a traditional artist. Some of them are when people go, "Will you design a tattoo?" and they just go, "Nope." So it's some people want to do it and some don't. And what people don't get, and I know both of you get it as an artist, not everything that looks good on paper translates to a tattoo well.
Yeah, like not everything that like looks cool, like when you draw it, is going to look good on your body in like 10, 15 years. So it is a separate skill. Like it's a different medium that you learn.
All right. It looks like we have all of our guests now. So Michael is now here as well.
Hello.
Hello. So I've gotten Kay's little backstory. So let's get Naomi, Luna. Can you tell us how you got into tattooing?
I got into tattooing. Well, I got into tattooing since I was a little girl. I've always loved the idea of drawing in people. It seems like the most natural thing for kids to, once they learn to draw in paper, they go straight to their own skin or their friends' skin or their parents' skin. I used to get in a lot of trouble because of that. I used to come home with my hands with Sharpie, and I used to be offended by that. And I was like, no, but I never care about it, the consequences of it. But once I grew up, I was like 15 when I entered my first tattoo um, job. I was doing henna tattoos and nails. And it was an interesting job because I was not doing tattoos per se, but the real ones, the permanent ones. But I was developing a lot of skills into knowing how the world worked, the whole industry. So for me, it was very interesting how, as a little girl, very young, I was being taught everything by these guys, these huge, rude guys, and they seem very open about it. So I just fall in love. And
That's
when
awesome.
I grew up, I had the chance to do it. I got the opportunity, and I didn't even thought of it twice once I developed the braveness enough to do it.
That's awesome. So, Michael, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Of course. So, you want to tell us a little bit of your background, a tattoo artist?
Yeah. So I was getting tattooed a lot my senior year of high school after I turned 18. And I, at the time, I played in a band, and the guy that was tattooing me knew my band, and he knew me, obviously, from coming in, and he had proposed the idea of maybe me becoming a tattooer because he knew that I also did graphic design. And I kind of just started as a shop hangout, which is just, sweeping and mopping and scrubbing tubes and stuff like that. And eventually, after a couple months of doing that, he had asked me if I wanted to become an apprentice. And the rest is history from there. I apprenticed for like a year and a half, and then I got graduated and became a tattooer and started taking walk-ins and stuff like that. And yeah.
That's awesome. We've got a lot of people here tonight. This is really cool. I love all of the folks here. Are we bringing in my co-host? Or there we are. This is one of my Cosplay Cafe co-hosts. This is Aubrey. She's gonna hang out, and she falls into kind of what you guys do a little. She does makeup and face painting. So in a different way, she is still arts on the body.
That's nice.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had trouble coming in because I was reversing an I and turning it into a 1. So that happens when you have dyslexia. It's just those weird things. So the numbers. I, as someone who loves tattooing and watching it, and who's a geek, this tattoo actually inspired my first Poison Ivy cosplay, because I am actually a pagan, which is why I got this tattoo first. And someone said, green looks so good on your skin, it pops. And well, that's because I stay in the shade and I slather because I'm a ginger. So I slather, if there's gingers out there, are people with fair skin. If you don't want to, bumper shoots, umbrellas, and a lot of sunblock, right? Especially when you're getting a new tattoo or you're thinking about getting a new tattoo. And as a cosplayer, putting makeup over the tattoos, it almost feels like a crime when they're really good, when the artistry is really good. And someone said, you should do poison ivy. And I went, why did that never, ever, ever occur to me? So I lost more weight and I got a little more creative, and I got them to finish. So it goes around the back here, and I'm going to get more so that when I do another ivy, I can show off the work in the back. But I love, like, when I meet other tattoo geek fans that incorporate their tattoos into their cosplays, because this has really become like, I'm old lady kind of grandma poison ivy, the older one, and I love rocking her vines, and I plan on getting more.
That's kind of funny because I think, Kay, wasn't one of your first tattoos where you had like vines and things on you, your rose?
Well, yeah, this is a child-friendly podcast, so I'm not going to take my shirt off. But yeah, that's one of my first tattoos that I ever got was for Yu Yu Hakusho. It's the plant vines that like come out of the chest, and I want to like expand up and around and have some more of those done. That's like my dream tattoo, though. Like, I'm saving space on my arm so that it can move all the way around. But that's definitely one of those things that like got me into tattooing was like nerd tattoos. And wanting tattoos that I could incorporate into costumes and like different looks.
That's awesome. So I've got so many people I get to ask questions of. It's kind of awesome. So I'm trying to run through like questions I can ask that won't like make you be here for a long time. But do you have a favorite tattoo that you have done for someone? Any of you? Like a top pick?
Personally, because I get asked this a lot, I feel like, and it probably should maybe be this way. Well, I guess I can't say that. For me, this feels good. Every couple months, I do my next favorite. Like, ideally, if you're pushing yourself and you're trying to raise the bar a little bit every few months. Yeah, I feel like you have a favorite one. At least I do. It always changes.
Growing your art form just like any other artist.
Yeah,
you get a little bit better with each one too. I feel like, or you kind of grow. I know you talk about it in your cosplay all the time, where you have like a career, like that you can kind of see unfolding in front of you when you flip through your portfolio. Like, I've done a few tattoos that like were my temporary favorites for a little while, and then I do the next one, and I'm like, oh, I love this one too. Actually, a lot of it for me too is the art matters, but the interaction, like, like I have some tattoos that I love artistically, but I also have some that mean a lot to me because the client was a really good client. We had a good conversation. Like, drawing it up was fun. Like, there are different elements to it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know I have examples of tattoos from Kay and Michael. Luna, if you have any you want to send our way so we can share some of yours. You what?
I sent you some of
Okay, so some of them are like a mix. I didn't know which ones were which. I just grabbed.
The first handful of them that I sent. Yeah, some of them.
Well,
I love it.
We can scroll through these, and if it's your tattoo, you can talk about it because y'all all sent me so many that I had to pick and choose. We would have been here forever.
Yeah, I figured. The first that I sent was mine, and then I sent some of Luna's that I knew were like custom, that were like kind of geeky, that would be fun to talk about too.
It's go ahead.
Like I said, if it's yours, talk about it. Tell us about doing the tattoo.
Yes, that's actually mine too, and it was one of my very first dozens of tattoos that I did in my apprenticeship. And in the moment, it's funny that Michael mentioned it because this was my favorite one in the moment. This was done on a very good friend of mine that I appreciate a lot, and she allowed me to experiment with the textures in this one. So I guess for me, it matters a lot, not only my connection with the client, like Keisha said, but how much the tattoo pushed me technique-wise, and I grow with it, and I learn a lot in the process, and that's my favorite part of tattooing.
That's awesome.
One of them.
love
The
this.
liquid courage.
This makes me so stupidly happy. I was like, we have to show the liquid courage.
Yeah, that one also was like a temporary favorite for me at the time, and I can't take credit for the design. It was based off of one that somebody that the client had brought in, and I kind of just whipped it up in my own little way. But that one was super fun.
That is so cute.
I feel like if my brother sees this, he might want it because he loves Courage so much that when he met Marty Grabstein, he had him autograph a picture of Courage he drew himself. So
That's so cool.
You think he doesn't have like any tattoos, does he? You
No, it's
know.
Brad.
Oh, Brad. Oh, okay.
yeah,
You can't escape Brad.
it's the other delinquent child in the family with tattoos. My mom jokingly calls us delinquents. She doesn't think we're actually delinquents.
I'm a delinquent.
Oh, yeah, there's my little Hobbit hole one. Yeah, that one was very fun. All of the black and the lines in this are healed and the color is fresh, so it's settled in a little differently at this point. But I love Lord of the Rings. That's like my biggest. That's like where I'm the nerdiest. That was super fun to do.
This would crack me up. Abby Normal. Young Frankenstein fan. I saw this and I cracked up when I was looking at this in my email.
Yeah, that one is actually on my friend Rachel, who is another tattooer. Shout out Mutated Sushi. That's her Instagram handle. She's an awesome tattooer. Being able to do that on her was such a privilege. Like just her asking me, I was like, really? Me? You want me to do it? It was so much fun.
I can't help but love the ones with green. Oh my gosh, there's no over green. I love it.
I didn't even know that. I just was picking the really cool, like my favorites, because I'm like, there's so many. If we covered all of them, we might not get done in an hour.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. That one was fun too.
This is Cthulhu. Was that Cthulhu?
Oh,
Yeah.
the Spyro the Dragon.
Yes. Okay.
Yep. Spyro. Yep. My little traditional style take on Spyro.
I love. There's so much variety between all of you.
Ooh,
Yeah, I think that's from Elden Ring, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's Bloodborne or Dark Souls. That's a Souls game.
Bloodborne. That's what it is. Yeah, Bloodborne. Yep. Yeah.
It's like the knife that like flips out.
Mm-hmm.
This one was so cool.
Also not my design. That was
Brad Maynard.
That was something that a client brought in a reference that looked just like that, and I did the flowers kind of the way that I do them, but pretty much the helmet was exactly like this reference. But it was fun to tattoo, and it's Star Wars, which is cool, so I had to include it.
Yeah, these uploaded in all sorts of order. So
that's gorgeous.
That's mine. That was one of my. I'm really in love with that tattoo. My client doesn't know, but I'm really in love with her leg for real. That was one of my first big like moments when somebody actually let me do a sketchy tattoo, not like solid lines as people is normally get used to ask for. And it was so much fun because it was like my first sketchy one, and it was all about the liberty of like going for it, the softness, the loosiness. And she wanted bruises, and it was my first experiment with color layering. And oh no, so much fun. It's not my design. It's Chubby Bunny design from I believe it was Tumblr. From a shout out to her from a long time ago, but it was very emo, very classic, and she just wanted it, and I couldn't design something different. She wanted that.
It feels very like early 2000s, and I really love how you captured
Yes,
that.
no, it was. I saw the design, and I was so in love immediately. I put all my passion in it.
Oh yeah, this was me. So the little Bill Cipher. This was one of the ones that I did like at the beginning of my apprenticeship too. Like
So
this was.
fun. Okay.
Oh my god, I love the eyes.
Yeah, this one was fun because we freehanded this one. I didn't have a stencil or like I had a reference for the centerpiece, obviously, because it's from Full Metal Alchemist. But then we didn't use a stencil. We just kind of free drew the eyes in and sort of like winged it, and it ended up being a ton of fun. When she asked me to do that, I was super nervous because I was like, how much do you trust me?
That is gorgeous.
But
That's not an easy to hide place sometimes.
Yeah, where she was like, yeah, just like draw with the machine, just like wing it. And I was like, yeah, all right, let's go. But that's one of those where like the client interaction was so much fun that it's like I have some fondness for it. Like that was my first time, I think, like really fully freehanding, like free machining something on somebody.
I have to admit that I need a Full Metal Alchemist tattoo, so we should talk.
Oh, that's me too. That is one of the first walk-ins I ever took for my shop when I was doing my apprenticeship. Like the Naruto spiral. I keep joking that as much as I love doing these tattoos, I've never actually done one on somebody's belly button. I feel like I'm like waiting on that person to come in and get like the belly button seal. But yeah,
You'll get it eventually.
Okay, so Andrea, before we move that, could we go back real quick to that? So I wanted to ask the artists. I did a little search for this episode. I wanted to know your opinion of the top like 1 or 2 that you get the most. The internet says it's Pokemon and then Naruto. So what's your take on, do you have more of the Pokemon than a Naruto, or the other way around in your history of tattooing?
I would.
Actually, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, go first, because I'll ruminate on it.
I feel like Pokemon, but it's very close.
Yeah.
I have never done a Pokemon tattoo. I've only done Naruto tattoos.
Okay. So yours would be Naruto.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like this is like, I feel like it's actually biased against me here because Naruto.
Oh, what?
Thing about Naruto. So like I took the Naruto walk-in because I recognized the symbol.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like one of the resident nerds who could do it. But I don't know anything about Naruto, so I feel like most of my clientele comes from conventions. So people come and ask me about stuff that I can like talk to them about. So I've drawn more Pokemon tattoos, but that's just because people know that they can talk to me about Pokemon.
Okay, so 2 out of 3
is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, I understand that. And which one of you has done more than one Star Wars tattoo?
I think I've only done maybe 1 Star Wars tattoo.
Me too. I think I only done 1 Star Wars tattoo. It's crazy.
Really? Okay.
I haven't been that long in the industry, I would say.
Yeah, I was saying, I was like, I haven't been tattooing that long. I think I do more anime stuff, honestly.
Okay.
Although when I did
more like anime and video games.
A lot of Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's because at the last shop we were at, we had an artist that did like constant Star Wars tattoos, though. So he did like all of the Star Wars tattoos.
Okay,
we saw our one coworker do like 8 Star Wars tattoos like in one weekend. Like, so like again, sampling.
There you go. You know an expert doing that.
Okay, sorry. I had to run for like half a second. People are in and out of my house cleaning some stuff so that when my mom gets back from the hospital, and my brother just walked in, and I like, dogs are barking. So,
did you not put a big sign on the door that said "Do not disturb"? Because that's what I did for me.
Well, the door is closed. It's just that he just walked in the house, and you know when you have a dog the size of a horse. Oh yeah, bring Scoot on. He's an artist. He's not a tattoo artist, but he's an artist. He didn't get to do the indie comic panel today.
Bring Scoot on. I'll talk to him about nerd stuff too.
Our admin behind the scenes, George. I've been trying to get him with Scoot and Brad for a while to get. There's George. George is running our behind the scenes, taking care of us.
Hiding.
So.
Hey guys.
George is hiding.
Yeah, for once, I'm not trying to absorb the spotlight as I typically do. So you know.
He's still sitting in front of the wall of.
Wait, George, do you have any?
Had to come in.
I heard my name.
But do you have any tattoos, George?
No, I don't. You know, the strange thing was I've always had design ideas for tattoos. One, because I'm a big Kiss fan, so I'd want an Ace Frehley tattoo, like just kind of like a headshot, kind of like from the '78 solo album. And then I'm a big Muppets fan. So I would want a headshot of Fozzie the Bear with a scroll underneath that just said Waka Waka Waka. So I've had these designs for probably about 35 years in my head. I've never actually done them. My wife, on the other hand, though, I don't know. I don't know why I've never pulled the trigger on it. But my wife, on the other hand, she's got 2 tattoos. Matter of fact, one she's had changed a little bit because it kind of, whatever else. She, modified it a little bit, and then she got one a couple of years ago. So yeah, my wife's inked up at me.
Now, I tell everybody, it took me a while to get my first one, and I just had it done at the end of August because Kay did it, and it was the paw print to one of my cats that passed away. And we've got plans to add to it a memorial kind of for my dad who's passed, and the cancer ribbon for my mom what she's fighting right now. So, I'm like, everybody goes, oh, once you get one, you want all of them. And I'm like, I don't want all of them, but I do have a few other ideas, because being a cosplayer, like Aubrey said, trying to cover them sometimes is so hard. With me doing volunteer work, we ask that if it's not part of the character, we ask that it's not there. So it gets a little.
You wear full body suit most of the time.
Yeah, I do a lot. Now, when I do my princesses, you'll like have Belle with this big like thing on her arm, which at a con I'd be fine with. Volunteer work, not so much.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I got a couple other images here that left that we haven't scrolled through here yet, so we'll get to this one here. I love that one.
Gorgeous.
Oh, that was the last.
Yeah, that one was one from I did a flash sheet of Neopets art, and I wasn't sure if anyone would even recognize that.
Yeah, Neopets.
Because I was like, am I showing my age? Do the kids still like Neopets? It turns out they like the Snow Fairy, at least. This one was fun to do. It sort of wraps around his arm. That is one that was one of the first ones that I did too. That was it's an imaginary, it's like a conlang that we put together. A friend of mine who is really into like fictional languages. I think this is from what is it? It's oh my god! There was an old steampunk web browser game that was really popular for a while, and this is a language that we put together, like from that game.
That's really cool, though.
There was one that I think we didn't get to that was in the middle, and I think it was this one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. you go ahead.
I
so
I love that.
But I did that tattoo, yes. I just love Kirby. I did it on my friend. Shout out to Diablito. But oh my god, we love Kirby. Who doesn't love Kirby? For real. She already has another Kirby in the other arm.
Oh.
So she's starting to collect Kirby's all over. Oh no, she's so cute.
See, I don't even like pink, but I loved Kirby, and I was a chubby girl all growing up, so I was like, yes, superpower. You inhale everything you.
By my count, that's a total of 13 Kirby's on Diablo.
That's amazing. I love the little one that scrunched his face down like in the corner.
So squishy.
Well, I mean, this does answer the age-old question of how many Kirby's can you fit in a Tic Tac box. So, there you go.
yeah.
13 apparently is the lucky number.
13. There you go.
It's a good number. It's not an unlucky number like people think.
I love that you were counting them.
I think there's 12 in the Tic Tacs, right? And then I know they have another one on their other arm. Like there's another
like,
string.
Now I'm counting.
There's one hidden behind the one part, the white part. So yes,
You can never have too many Kirby's.
14 Kirby's total, not counting the one that you can't see.
no, we can put that with our imagination.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's so cute.
And
And
of course,
we all are just now like over here fangirling over Kirby.
I know. And I got to go back to some earlier ones. I got to go back to the Courage. That's a great one. I love that.
Yes.
I love the detail and the shading on this face here.
Thank you. Oh, they know that. Who have seen Death Note here?
Yes.
I'm so nostalgic for Death Note.
Oh my gosh. I like the live action. I don't care.
Yeah, see,
You like live action? Okay.
Yes, I did. I love both of them.
The
See, I
tone
watched
you
the
just
live
took was like,
Japanese.
okay.
see, my experience with anime is like the old 80s films. So like basically where my cutoff usually goes is like Bubblegum Crisis in the 90s. Even though I had a bunch of roommates that were like, when like Dragon Ball first started hitting the States, you could like only get tapes and stuff like that. I had a bunch of roommates that were way into Dragon Ball. I'm like, dude, why does it take 30 minutes for them to talk about a fight and then the next fight happens over the entire episode? Can we break it up a little bit, man?
The nostalgia factor is there, though. I mean, when we're talking about nerdy tattoos and stuff, you got to think a lot of what people take in. It's not. I mean, yeah, you get a lot of people doing the new trendy thing, but a lot of it is things that mean something to them. That they were like, man, this was my childhood. You know, I always said if I grew up and could get a tattoo, I'd put this on my body.
Yeah, like the stuff that stood the test of time for a lot of people.
What? Cade, what? Cade.
Kirby with Steve Harvey's face. I love that.
I don't know if I. No, I can't. No.
See, that's the thing. It's like I got a buddy of mine, Andy, and Andy is like inked up to the point where like he's got like blackout spots. Like, okay, I don't like that anymore. So he's like, so he's that kind of. But he loves getting like weird, like in jokes that only he gets kind of thing. So like Kirby with a Steve Harvey face, yes, I'm into that stuff, Cade. I'm into that.
You probably get one of whatever you want. You can make it real.
So that's
it
another
might be a little
question.
cursed.
That's another question to our artists. Has somebody ever walked up with a design for you so weird that you just are kind of like, you just kind of look like, I'm going to do it. What?
Yeah.
I know. I'm sure you've seen all sorts of crazy things working in the shops.
There was one that I had sent in it was a take on the Rose of No Man's Land, which is like a classic Americana image, but it's Nigel Thornberry from the Wild Thornberries.
I'll add that. I'll upload that one. Give me just a second, and I will upload that one because that one was on my list of should I share this one while we've got. But hey, look, if I can pull more, I'll pull more and share them. I mean, why not?
I can't wait to see this. I am excited about it because
It's kind of
the Thornberries were just too much fun.
I maybe need a Nigel Thornberry tattoo.
Ooh.
I
want a Fraggle Rock tattoo. Okay,
Yeah.
I need Firefly, Fraggle Rock, and of course, Full Metal Alchemist because that's my favorite anime of all time. Nobody can argue with me about that. Both of them, by the way.
The manga and anime are so good. I could do a whole show about that.
Let's do it.
An entire show where we just talk about Full Metal Alchemist.
Yes.
Yes.
That is all we need. There are so many things in that show: politics, religion, family matters. Oh yeah, we could have a whole show just on that.
Pitch a new show with you and me about Full Metal Alchemist?
I told you I want to do anime, so I'm not kidding. Suit up for this.
Here we go. Here you go. Here's the Nigel Thornberry.
I died.
Art.
I died.
Sometimes like I think the phrase that I hear a lot from other tattooers is like sometimes you make art, sometimes you make rent. That's art.
Yeah, looking back, I definitely would have, because that's kind of old now. It's like probably almost 5 years old. I probably would have done some things differently and executed it differently, but just the concept is still funny to this day. So
Some people take it too seriously. I kind of love when people get something that's personal but kind of goofy. I love serious memorial tattoos that are beautiful and or have a meaning. But I kind of love when you go, what is that? And they go, I was just thinking about this weird thing, and you're like, cool. it just comes up and it's what it is, and it's kind of great.
I guess
This
when
is
you put
somebody
it
who
like
regularly
that,
pulls their pant leg up, like just to show it off. I feel.
Yeah, they're
my
never
conversation.
wearing jeans. They're always wearing like sweatpants or yeah.
Ready.
Oh, Cade mentioned Tim Curry, and now I'm like, I do need Rocky Horror also. Thank you, Cade, for reminding me.
Oh yeah.
Aubrey's gonna run out of room.
It's gonna be all on my back. They're gonna be like, where did all this ink go she said she was gonna get? Flip over my body before the funeral. Oh, there it is.
Full body suit.
Just a big old V of all of the IP that I love in the Geek Zone. Just a big V shape.
I mean, the way over the last 5 or so years, I've gotten obsessed with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I would get a lot of reference tattoos on there, like Max. I would want to get Max Bike tattooed in a visible place on me. And I won't go, since we're doing a family show here, I won't go into detail what Max Bike is, but I will get that bike in its full automated working ways tattooed on me in some way, shape, or form. Or, like certain phrases like, I'll eat your baby, sort of things like that. Yeah.
Rum ham.
Rum ham. Rum ham. Yes.
Want a bite of my rum ham?
We're a little bit past the halfway point, so I just want to remind anyone that's just joining us, we are raising money right now for comic books for kids. There is a link scrolling across the bottom of the screen if you would like to donate. If you can't donate, share the link. Maybe somebody else can. We're trying to raise money. They get comics into hospitals for children. Funko supports them. They send comics to soldiers in the military. They're doing great things, and we want to support them. And their creator, their leader, he is very supportive of all of our shows and is really thrilled that we're doing their charity for a second year in a row. So support the charity. Go find these tattoo artists, support them, give them your money to let them stab you.
That's right.
Donate on the bottom. It's on the bottom.
Yes. The great thing too about comic books for kids and kind of what Mark's mission is, the way he works with the hospitals and the cancer centers to donate, comics, toys, Funko Pops, whatever, fun things for the kids. But when the kids and the families receive that stuff, they think it's coming from the hospitals. They have no idea it's coming from a charity organization.
It's all just a man doing some good with what he loves.
Yeah, and I love the fact that Mark doesn't want to get the notoriety and that he rightfully deserves.
It.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we got another comment from Kate here.
We love people that just do good with things. We need more good in the world, and that's another thing that goes kind of hand in hand with this. It's getting less of a stigma, but people used to look at you. If you had tattoos, you were suddenly a delinquent. You were in the biker gang. You weren't worth anything. And it was weird to me growing up because my grandfather, since I was little, had this battleship tattooed across his chest, the old school blue line, my grandmother's name and a heart on his arm. So they weren't weird to me. So when people were like, oh, they have tattoos, they're not good people. I'm like, my grandfather has tattoos.
That was the only good people were the Navy. So it was bikers, bad people were else, and then military. That was it.
Yeah. Your punk rockers, your bikers, they were all just, people like, oh, they're the delinquents. You don't want to deal with them. They've got tattoos. They got weird hair. They've got piercings. It's so common now. How many soccer moms have tattoos? Okay. And I have a kitty.
All of them.
I mean, my kids never went to soccer. We were in band, but I didn't get my first tattoo till after I was 30. So I'm a late bloomer. Okay. Yeah. But I did want to revisit the quotes part that we mentioned a second ago. As tattoo artists, how many times have you had someone come to you saying, I just want this saying on me? I was wondering about that. As far as geek sayings go, specifically.
Well, it's funny because my first tattoo was a quote. It was an anime quote from Elfen Lied.
Yeah.
It's just a wording, right? And they don't age the best way right now. Maybe with the new techniques and new ways of doing fine line tattoos, of course. But when I did my tattoo, it was still with a coil machine, and it's not aging the best. But you see it, and at least for me, it's not how it looks in the moment or in the future. It's just how what it reminds you deeply personally to you. And people, that's why they put themselves quotes of their parents or the Bible or whatever quote they think that when they see it, it reminds them to be either stronger or something that for them helps them live better or move forward of something. And I think it's very special. It does to me. So I never. I sometimes in joking here around with my colleagues, we're like, "Oh my God, people should stop asking for letters because But I don't judge for real. It's just it's very special to have a quote. We as humans talk with words, so words are very special for us. What better than tattooing it in our skin?
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, like you said, it can give somebody a lot to get them through their day.
Hmm. That's why it's interesting because they mostly put these quotes in their here in this part. So because they move it around in their vision, so that it's an easy reminder, which is it's crazy. Also in their feed when they're uncovered, but I don't see people putting a lot of quotes or in their. It's crazy that they put it in the ribs because it's always close to the chest when we do stuff, right? It's like deeply personal here in the torso, which is also very interesting when you see it that way.
Yeah, you're right about that. There's a wrestler I'm a big fan of, AJ Styles, and on the left side of his rib cage is the names of all 4 of his children.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that's kind of a neat thing.
Yeah, that's the funny thing talking about the ribs. My youngest brother, his first tattoo was on his ribs, and it's lettering all the way down his side.
His first?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was his first, and I was like, "You're gonna go like full song lyrics down the ribs, first one, all right."
Yeah, he said his artist. He was like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah, just go for it. I know it's gonna hurt."
Good question.
Now, actually, here's an interesting question. Anybody that's a novice to getting inked, to getting tattooed, always wants to know where are the painful places. Like, you always hear about the wrist is a painful place, or stuff like that. So, in your experience, what have been painful places that you've tattooed someone?
I feel like some of the worst spots are definitely like the ribs, the tops of the feet, and the hands. But honestly, pretty much everywhere sucks. I think there's less places that don't suck. Like in my experience, the only part of the body that doesn't really hurt all that much to get tattooed is the face.
Really?
I feel like that
was
the first time I hear that.
That is the first time I've heard that, but I've only tattooed maybe 2 or 3 faces, so
I've gotten my face tattooed I've gotten my face tattooed I think like 5 or 6 times now, or maybe a little more, and the only part that really hurt was I have like right next to my eyes, and that sucked only because of the tear ducts.
Yeah.
I was going to say in your tattoo, we're just like holding your face down like this makes it weirder.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing when I got mine. When I let Kay tattoo me that first time, I decided to put it on my thigh, one because it was easier for me to cover for cosplay, and my cat would always stand and put all of his weight there, so that's why his paw print is there. But I'm also like, that's a softer spot. I hear that's an easier spot. Like the closer it is to bone or like right on top of like your veins, I hear it's usually more painful.
Yeah. So my wife's first tattoo was on her right, shoulder, like right around here. But then like her second tattoo was script literally along, like right here in her left arm. So yeah, it was a quote from Jonathan Livingston Seagull as well. So there you go.
Yeah, I saw Naomi wins with like I know you have the Legend of Zelda tattoo that's like right
Yes,
there.
I do.
It's like I saw you wince when it came up like
Oh yeah, yeah.
right there on the plane.
This was in she remembers. Kate remembers when I was getting this one. I was screaming. It was very painful.
Thinking
Yes,
about the
it's
pain.
comfortable. More
I know
comfortable.
there's like jokes about like the people that tap out the most are like the big burly men. Is that in y'all's case usually true? And then the women are just like, just keep going.
That was precisely what I was gonna
Yeah,
share.
it's just
And he
men.
said, in regards of pain, I think that it depends on the person. My clients are better. Women handle the pain better. It's just that their scale is completely different. They suffer a lot of physical pain through their whole life. So when they get tattoos, their level of experience of pain is just completely different from men. And that is just, mm, I guess, nature. And it's just funny because they complain a lot, but it's just it's just normal. That I don't see it as weak or not. It's just
The soccer moms know the experience of birth, so they're less bothered by the idea that you're like stabbing their wrist. Like they get the little tiny flowers on the wrist in the most painful places, and then they're like, it's fine.
And in my opinion, I think that the most painful tattoos for either woman or man are the ones that are like right here, or the ones that when the sun doesn't hit so much, like right here, or for example, the sun hits a lot here, but it's mostly folded, so it doesn't hit a lot. So it's all the inner parts of the body. Those are the ones that hurt the most because they're not so much protected to handle the X-rays from the sun, basically. So anything that goes in, it's not as thick as other parts of the skin. They're not as protected, so they hurt the most. But also depends on the level of the how they handle the.
Well, I have to go. Sorry, I have to go in just a minute, but I had one more question for the artists. Since you're geeks also, and we're talking about comic books, I know what my next tattoo, besides my vines being added for my poison ivy, are. It's going to be the quote of "Never Without Permission," which is from my favorite movie of all time, which is Fifth Element. I feel like that's a very impressive quote, "Never Without Permission." So I love that quote. But what is your next geek tattoo, the very next one that you're going to actually do? Not the one you really want to, but the one you're probably going to do next for yourself.
You caught me. I was gonna really one. I think the one that I will do, and I will do it myself, is I'm gonna finish a Shinji that I had. A Shinji from Evangelion is my favorite anime, and I have it floating when he has his introspection, floating in the paper alone. I have it on my leg. I did it myself, and I want to put it. I want to finish it with him standing on the floor in different color. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm gonna do. I would like to show it, but ears on my leg, so I don't know if it's appropriate. Maybe
Take your pants off.
That part of the leg is okay.
Oh, I like that.
That part of the leg is okay to show.
On the floor.
What about you two?
I don't know. I guess this is kind of geeky to an extent. I'm planning on getting Alf tattooed on me. Love Alf, favorite show as a kid. I am still kind of trying to figure out how I would like to compose it ideally, but I know Alf. That's definitely the next one.
You can do a driver's license, and it's Gordon Shumway.
I was thinking about that.
That would be so good.
I was also contemplating doing him with like a banner that says, "Where's the lasagna pan?" Because I can't remember what episode it is. There's an episode where he's like, "Kate, where's the lasagna pan? The cat won't fit in the toaster."
You're geeky.
Or if you want to go real deep cut, it's a goodbye letter with 3 drops of grape soda.
Oh,
These are tears.
that's such a good idea. I'm taking that. Thank you.
Cool. Running on my body for the rest of my life. Thanks.
What do you have one? Your next one, nerdy 1K.
Depends on what counts. I have 2 that I know I want to add color to. One that Luna needs to add color to. That's on the side of my leg. That's a Kitsune mask. That's like a little bit of an homage to Kitsune Second, but it's also just kind of I'm attached to Kitsune lore and I'm an anime nerd. I also have one of big challenges, like the Sanrio alligator on my ankle that I did myself that I want to touch up. At some point, I would like a Hunter x Hunter tattoo, but I haven't decided what yet.
Hunter x Hunter. Okay, it's Pillow is my favorite.
I want a Kurapika tattoo. I haven't decided how I want to execute it yet. But it's like sitting. It's like it's next on my list. It's way overdue.
Right. So, Mike, you said you have to roll.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't sure if I should have mentioned it out loud. Yeah.
We just want to say thank
Got
you.
some clients and
Thank you for being part of this and showing off your artwork.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me. It was great meeting you guys.
Definitely. I'll save all the pictures and I'll make sure to share all of the pictures and y'all's information on our social medias for all of this.
Appreciate that very much. You guys have a good
Go
rest of the
take care of your clients. Go make
Nice
that
to
money.
meet you.
That's right. It's Saturday night.
It is. All right, we only have about
an hour.
We have less than 10 minutes. So do y'all have any fun stories or anything you want to share about being a tattoo artist?
About
Or
nerdy
anything about it, a story, a memory, anything to just kind of wrap us up here.
I can add up to that. Have you got any crazy story of tattoo idea or stuff?
Go for it.
This client that came, which I really appreciate him, he came with this idea of wanting to have an iguana, which is a lizard, an iguana dress on a SWAT uniform. So it was a commando iguana. And I was not, it was so impossible for me to visualize it in the moment because he wanted it not crawling into the wall or something, just like standing up, almost having like, but I couldn't make it hold anything because it was going to be too much detail. So I was able to figure out there were no images of iguanas standing on their feet. It was so hard to do that. I had to dig very deeply into zoo images to find good ones of being hold and stuff, and I did my own collage. So I figured out a way of making a SWAT iguana. It was so crazy that when I saw it finish, it was like, did I did this? Damn!
I'm pretty impressed with that one though, because somehow you pulled it off, even though the prompt was I want an iguana, but in tactical gear.
The whole commando gear. Yeah.
I was like, this is such a specific weird thing that you're never gonna find a reference for, and you nailed it. It turned out beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, that's a sign of an artist, definitely.
No, I love that. Those are some of the best ones that we get to do too, are the weird sort of I don't have a reference picture, but I have an idea. One of my favorite ones that I've done in a similar vein was it was the MF Doom mask on BMO from Adventure Time. And just kind of putting that one together for this really cool local musician was a ton of fun. Just doing fun little mashups and doing custom stuff for people was so good.
Yes, all these interactions is funny because the tattoos that we have mentioned, we know which ones we're talking about. We used to work next to each other, and we come back to the experience of the client in tattooing and how important it is because we like each other so much, Kay and I. we were able to have conversations about the things we like, and it was all geeky stuff. And then the clients would be in the conversation and converse with each other, and be like, I noticed you're talking about this, so can I, put my little conversation there too? It was really fun to have all these very rich conversations with people. They tell us what they like and why their tattoos are so important and linked to these experiences. So, like you said it before, how uh, childhood experiences are put there in an image, in a simple image that reference a single episode or a scene, a couple of seconds. And I, for example, have the tattoo of the email shopping, the shopping list, the grocery shopping list from
The
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob grocery list that the
I-
ghost has.
I did too. And I just
That's
saw it
so cute.
because every time I see that, it makes me laugh. And I love making me giggling, it's like giggling. Haha. I love that, and it's just so special.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, one last question, actually, I've got here. Of course, you see a lot of like tattoo artists on social media posting like funny videos, of, like awkward customers or nightmare customers or where else. Have you ever had a situation where you've had to like tell a client like, I'm not cool with this design, or maybe even like talk them out of a bad design to make it better?
Hey, aren't you going through one of those? Aren't you going through that with my brother's nephew?
Oh, don't shame him. Don't shame him in public.
Andrea will be hunted after this episode.
He knows. Don't shame him in public. Yeah, he's gonna watch this later and be like, "Wait,
no.
what?"
Andre is too busy playing video games. He's not watching them.
Affectionately, I genuinely don't have a problem with most of the people that have come in for tattoos for me. I feel like everybody who comes in for a tattoo, they've taken that first step to come into the shop, and they're talking to me about something permanent on their body. So obviously they have feelings about it. And you don't want to trash somebody for their cool idea, even if it's not fully baked yet. Sometimes it just needs a minute to cook, where somebody will come in with a design that is a little bit oh, I don't know how this will hold up on your body, or somebody could accidentally read it this way or that way, or teenage girls will come in and be like, I want this guy's name, and I'm like, what if you got something else? But in general, I mean, you just gotta work with people. In any art field where you're taking commission work and doing custom stuff, you work with people and you kind of figure out what's gonna look good long term, what you're gonna be happy with long term. I've never had to outright turn somebody down. I've only ever had people come in and I've been like, what if we did this a tiny bit bigger so that in a few years it's not a blob on your arm if you gain weight or something, or instead of all of these words in this full paragraph, why don't we try and boil it down to 1 or 2 sentences of the quote that really nail what it means for you?
So you can still read it later.
Yeah, so that, you look at it, you understand the meaning, but we don't have to put you through a whole lot of pain and you don't have a full text on you,
Nobody's going to sit there and read.
Sometimes it's people will come in and you're like, we can do this, we just got to let it cook. Yeah, think about it for a second.
Yes.
Nail down exactly what's going to look perfect on you.
So before we head out, let's let people know where they can find you guys online. Okay, where can they find you? Pretty much.
I am. Yeah, I'm Call Me Midas on basically every social media platform
and website.
I have callmemidas.com. Call Me Midas on Instagram. Call Me Midas on Blue Sky. Call Me Midas everywhere that you can find me.
And I am Naomi Luna. I am Particle of Chaos in Spanish, or Partículas de Caos. And you can find in Instagram with this name, and that's me. And Facebook as well, it's my name.
Awesome. Thank you guys for joining us. This was awesome. We got to hear some cool stories, see some really cool artwork, had lots of fun laughs. I've needed laughs, so thank you. And so we will be playing our outro video so people can know what we've got going on with the Multiverse fundraiser, where their money is going. So again, thank you everybody for joining us, for commenting, for watching, and to our artists for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. And here we go playing our video here. Have a good night.
The Multiverse Fundraiser is partnering with Comic Books for Kids to raise money for their cause. Their mission is to provide comic books to children in hospitals and cancer centers across the United States, Canada, and the UK. We believe in the importance of providing stories that promote hope and bravery to kids who are facing things that are scarier than any supervillain. And we truly believe in this cause. To donate, you can either go to our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/The Multiverse Fundraiser or directly to comicbooksforkids.org.
The Multiverse Fundraiser would like to thank our sponsors: Earth Dog Studios, Clobbern Comics, The Art of Brian Rodman, Studio Moonfall, Elusive Comics, and of course, the Phoenix Sisters Entertainment Network for hosting this event. Learn how to support these businesses on the MVFR website.